Hi everyone, my name is Miriam and presenting with me are Cora and Katie, and our presentation is on eating disorders and social media. Before we start the presentation, we wanted to warn viewers that the presentation may contain material that is harmful or triggering to some audiences. The first thing we're going to talk about is a brief introduction to the topic. So, how are eating disorders and social media connected? Eating disorders are classified as mental illnesses involving body image concerns and disordered eating habits. Eating disorders are associated with the highest mortality rates among other mental illnesses, and hospitalization rates for eating disorders have increased by 18% between 1999 and 2006. People with eating disorders are at high risk of developing other psychiatric illnesses, and the onset age for most eating disorders is between the age of 18 and 21. Social networking sites such as Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok are some of the most commonly consumed media by young adults, where 75% of teens have at minimum one social media account, and 51% of them visit those sites daily. A study looking at problematic social networking site use found an association of those sites with lower body self-esteem, lower satisfaction with body image, and increased symptoms of eating disorders. Problematic social networking site use is based off of the degree of dependence on social networking site use. Things used to evaluate problematic use include total time on social networking sites per day, total friends on there, activities like posting pictures, commenting on posts, on looking at your own profile or others' profile, and using filters and editing photos before posting them. Social networking sites use had the greatest correlation to eating disorder symptoms and concerns, and a meta-analysis looking at social networking site use is associated, and eating disorder behaviors confirmed that excess use of SNS is associated with disordered eating habits.
Okay, next I will be going over the 3 different eating disorders using the DSM-5 criteria. And the DSM-5 criteria stands for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders of the 5th edition. And it is a tool and reference guide for mental health clinicians to diagnose, classify, and identify mental health conditions. First, I will be going over anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa is when an individual has a significantly low body weight in comparison to age, sex, development, and physical health. Next is binge eating disorder. And binge eating disorder is the recurrent binge eating without compensatory behavior to prevent weight gain. And they eat a large amount of food in a single serving that most people would eat in the same amount of time. Next is bulimia nervosa. And that is when an individual has recurrent episodes of binge eating and also recurrent inappropriate compensatory behavior to prevent weight gain.
So up next is the harms of social media. So first off, what does triggering mean? We commonly hear it being used to say that something can be upsetting to someone, but its actual meaning is that it sets off a craving. For eating disorders, these triggers can include body checking, which is the constant checking of one's body size or shape, as you can see by the picture in the bottom right. We also have posts about weight loss and exercise routines, altered images, unrealistic presentations of oneself, and calorie counting. I'm sure that many of us know that Instagram perpetuates unrealistic beauty standards. One of the most talked about ways is through photo editing. However, that is not the only harmful thing that Instagram contributes to those with eating disorders. If someone shows any interest towards eating disorder content, whether through liking a post or following an account that promotes eating disorders or unrealistic body standards, Instagram would then recommend that more of that material through accounts they recommend to you through the suggestions for you or posts on the Explore page. Additional content that can add to this is food accounts that count calories, which can lead to orthorexia. Orthorexia is the obsessive focus of healthy eating and exercise. This can be exacerbated through accounts that show excessive amounts of exercise, unhealthy diets, and calorie counting. Pro-Anna and pro-Mia communities are also found on social media platforms. By using names like Anna and Mia, they are anthropomorphizing anorexia and bulimia and are sort of a workaround between the keywords of anorexia and bulimia that are often blocked. These communities promote unhealthy eating disorder behaviors such as tips on how to suppress hunger, how to hide vomiting, ways to purge, and more. There are also many posts in these communities that include people that are dangerously thin that serve as inspiration for other members of the community. Overall, they are just harmful communities that encourage each other to continue their dangerous eating habits.
What I Eat in a Day videos are also an example of a recent trend circulating on social media sites that promotes disordered eating habits. It involves showing the food eaten throughout the day, and sometimes it's accompanied by the amount of calories within each food item consumed. The videos promote the idea of thinness being ideal, as many of the people filming these videos are conventionally attractive and thin. This could lead viewers to believe that if they eat the same way, they might be able to achieve the creator's body. Not only the videos, but the comments praising the creators may trigger the creator to feeling that they need to do the same to be valued. Overall, the viewer's self-comparison to the creators may lead to dissatisfaction with their own body image. Another issue with these videos is that one diet does not work for everyone. What may be healthy for one person may not be healthy for another person, and the people viewing the videos may not take that into consideration. The creators of these videos or similar videos may also be affected negatively. Creators may feel the need to produce this content even when it's unhealthy for them. An example of this is Nikocado Avocado, who feels pressure to continue to produce food-related content even when they are detrimental to their physical and mental health. The quote that emphasizes what we've discussed in the previous slide is by Abby Sharp, who we will talk a little bit about later. She states that more often than not, these what I eat in a day of people's eating are grossly insufficient nutritionally when it comes to calories, and also are typically riddled with pseudoscience, a lot of like morality, and dichotomizing around food, and all these unnecessary food rules that are not based in science or evidence. We wanted to take a moment to compare two platforms, and we decided to look at Instagram and TikTok in response to eating disorder content. When searching the hashtag Thinspo on Instagram, you get a warning and links to resources, but you're still able to access the content. So it doesn't block the content or remove the triggering posts, but you're warned regarding what you're about to access. On the other hand, on TikTok, you're not allowed to access the posts and instead are given resources. But it's important to keep in mind that you can still use different keywords to access the posts that are hidden, and the content is not taken down, just harder to access. At the end of the day, both platforms want users to continue to use their platform, and that includes allowing people to post whatever they want, even if it may be harmful to some. So this shows us that there are differences in degrees of priorities for each social media platform. For both platforms, the main priority is still running a business. Instagram places less emphasis on blocking access to posts and tries to minimize the number of posts they have to take down. TikTok blocks the content and makes it much more difficult to access, but not impossible. Regardless of which platform used, all platforms use algorithms. So when you look up a tag or like a post, the algorithm of social media platforms begins to show you similar posts, and if someone is searching pro-eating disorder content, that's what's going to flood their feed regardless of the platform they're using.
All right, next I will be going over the benefits of social media and how it can have a positive impact rather than a harmful one. To begin, social media allows people to have access to a platform that benefits them by allowing them to connect with others who share their experiences and spread helpful information, resources, and can be a pillar of support. For example, some people might not realize that some of their actions are actually indicative of an ED until they hear someone talking about the things they are experiencing. If they come to understand that their actions are not normal and harmful, they can seek help to work to stop the actions. Social media is also an effective way to spread resources to allow as many people as possible to get help. Networking can be easily accessible on social media and can help people receive the care they need even if they feel isolated in real life. Content creators can also create videos to help support others in the community and help them get through the hardships that they are experiencing. The next two slides are examples of how content creators have used their platforms to address eating disorders and how they have helped provide support and encouragement to others to have others overcome what they're struggling with. The first video is a recovering binge eater who uses her platform to encourage others to eat in a healthy manner. The next video is a content creator who sits down and has a meal with someone to help encourage others to have the confidence to have a meal that will benefit them. Social media can also use selfies as a way to promote body positivity and help individuals recover from eating disorders. Selfies can be used to humanize rather than objectify someone's body, and humanizing someone makes them realize that they are beautiful even if they do not fit the mold of society's beauty standards. Selfies can be used as encouragement for others facing similar struggles when they document the slow but steady path to recovery. Empowerment can be gained from selfies and is a key construct in reducing self-objectification, which can result in an eating disorder. Here is an example of a helpful versus harmful selfie. The selfie on the left is harmful because it centers around the girl's body and how thin she is. The entire focus of the picture is what she reflects to be beautiful, and can be considered unhealthy. However, the selfie on the right is helpful. This is it because it shows a girl who is happy and living her life without having to essentially focus on how she looks. And it reflects how life is more than how thin you are.
Another positive we're starting to see on social media is people taking the time to correct misconceptions and disordered eating habits spread on the internet. Dietitian Abby Sharp, quoted earlier, utilizes her platform to correct misconceptions using what she calls a gentle nutrition approach. She calls out disordered eating habits, gives advice, and corrects misconceptions.
Okay, so this is the end of our presentation. So some final remarks that we have is that social media is a double-edged sword. Like any other media we consume, there are some things that are helpful and some things that are harmful. Therefore, it's important to learn how to protect yourself, such as through blocking people and accounts that promote lifestyles that perpetuate eating disorders. Learn your limits by seeing how much you can personally handle when it comes to social media. And if you have to limit social media to promote your own growth and recovery, then do so. And understand when it's time to seek professional help. While social media is a great way to find a community of like-minded people or those who went through similar experiences, it's best to seek professional help first and foremost. Here are some resources that we found for eating disorders. And this concludes our presentation.